I want to do a quick video. This is going to be like a few minutes max about a story I did yesterday in Hillsong and talked about my church. And of course, you know, I said something that people went just bananas. They're going to make all my haters are going to make all the videos they can make about it. So I just want to get out ahead so that you guys can hear with my words what actually happened with this meeting at my church. I don't know if I was not clear. I guess not, because people were freaking out. Oh, the meeting comes down. They say, hey, this guy did this thing. I don't even to this day know what it was. They just said it was inappropriate and it's been dealt with. In the church I just served at, I think about 3 or 4 months before I was fired, could have been a little bit longer than that, there was a youth leader in our church, an adult youth leader, male, okay? Nobody at that church to this day probably knows this, but he essayed a student, okay? Was asked to step down. We sat down at a leadership meeting, okay? Where the lead pastor, no, executive pastor, the guy who was supposed to say all the shit, because then the lead pastor can have, plausible deniability, okay? Where he said, look, this went down in this leadership meeting, told all the staff that this had happened, but he essayed a student. The church does shitty shit to a lot of people, and it happens a lot. Look at the Catholic Church and the covered up all the priests. That's not just Catholic, that's Christian. That happened in my church. There was a youth leader who did something, and they just said, keep it silent. Don't talk to the media. Don't say anything, right? Then they're not going to fire you for no reason unless you do something terrible. And this church has a history of other pastors, and there's like been some sexual assaults and abuses and stuff that they keep quiet. And when there was one in my time there, a youth leader did something to a teenage girl, I think it was. They had a big emergency giant meeting with the executive pastor, who's the guy that's like, nobody speak to the media. Nobody say anything. If anybody asks you, you call us. Don't say a word to anybody. I don't know what happened. I'm hoping the guy's in jail or whatever the case may be. I wonder if the parents press charges. And I also wonder if the parents asked the pastors of the church to keep it quiet, because a lot of victims don't want their stories out in the world, which I will never do. I'll never put this person's story out. There was a youth leader who did something. A youth leader did something to a teenage girl at church, an adult youth leader, male, okay? He essayed a student. This guy did this thing.